Good morning, everybody. This is the Board of Health meeting for December 8th at 10:30 in the Senior Center. This meeting is being recorded. And first order of business, approval of the minutes.
I make a motion to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes approved. Okay. Next order of business, Town Comprehensive Plan Roadshow presentation. Who's
Yes,
this?
that's Sarah.
Oh,
Sarah
okay.
Dixon.
Yeah, roadshow kind of caught my eye.
Where would you like to sit? Where, want to sit here?
Yeah.
Just so that way you can look directly at the board?
Oh, she put it up. That's good.
Up to you. Oh, okay, yeah.
This works that way I can see everyone.
Oh, okay.
Terrific. Thank you so much for having me here. I recognize that your schedules are usually quite busy, so we appreciate you making the time. My name's Sarah Dixon. I'm the Director of Community Development for the Town of Norwood. And I'm coming to you on behalf of the Comprehensive Plan Steering Committee, which is a group of 10 people selected and representing the planning board to put together Norwood's 10-year comprehensive plan. It's been about 30 years since Norwood has engaged in a planning exercise like this one. A comprehensive, or sometimes known as a master plan, is really a broadly defined plan that imagines what the town's goals and vision are for the next 10 years, and then assigns a group of strategy ideas that serves as kind of our roadmap for the next decade. So this process has been going on for about a year and a half now. We're in the home stretch of it. We started with kind of an existing conditions survey, looking at the data and the demographics, all of the facts and information that we have about what resources we currently have in Norwood, what we're doing well, where our kind of our gaps and our holes are, how our demographics are positioned to grow and shift and change in the next 10 years. And then we moved into really the heart of the plan, which is the public participation and community engagement portion. And we've been working really hard for the last 10 to 12 months to solicit as much public input into this plan as possible. Really asking residents and stakeholders, you know, where do you want to see the town in 2035, and what are your ideas to get there? So we started really broadly with that vision and goals. What do we want to achieve? And we've gotten a lot more specific to the stage where we're at now, which is our strategy ideas. Basically, the action items, what are our tasks that we're going to actually do to get to where we want to be? So what we're doing right now is a series of what we're calling roadshows, where we're visiting boards and committees like yours, and shopping some of those strategy ideas out with the groups who have the most specialized expertise and can give us the best feedback specifically on these ideas. Some of these ideas end up with the boards and committees as the responsible party to actually do them, so it makes the most sense really to make sure we're getting feedback from folks who may be involved in the implementation of some of these ideas in the next 10 years. So I forwarded over, no worries if you haven't had a chance to look over them yet, but you should have a list of those strategy ideas. Note that these are not all of the strategy ideas that we've put together so far. It's kind of a hand-selected list of the ones that might relate to your area of expertise on the Board of Health. I understand that it is still a little bit of a long list, so in order to be respectful of your time, instead of going through one by one, I thought I might kind of open it generally to see if there's anything here that stands out to you. The goal of this exercise is really to sort these ideas. Our numerical system on this is 1, 2, and 3. 1 is, sure, I hate this idea, right? Like, strike this idea, it's a terrible idea, it doesn't fit for Norwood, you know, I really, I don't like this goal, right? That's 1. 3 is, I love this idea. I would make no changes to it. I absolutely think this is something I want to see Norwood do in the next 10 years. And then 2 is somewhere in the middle. It could be something like, I have questions. Or I like part of this idea, but not another part of this idea. It could be a 3 or a yes if we struck out this last half. It could be, I really like this idea, but I just don't see it working here, right? I'm not sure if we have the money for this. I'm not sure if we have the public will for this. And so that type of feedback would be helpful for me to be able to bring back to the steering committee and to our consultant to help us whittle down this list and perfect it a little bit. The one final note I'll make before we get to the important part, which is listening to you all and less listening to me, is to talk about finances, because that's one question that consistently comes up in these discussions, and it's a really good one. Some ideas don't cost anything, right? They implement policy that costs nothing. But some of these ideas do carry quite a bit of a price tag. And the question is always, are we committing ourselves to spending the money to do this? This is a great idea and we'd love to see this, but we don't know if we're going to have the funds to pay for this. How do we use finances as we evaluate these ideas? This is a 10-year plan. We don't know what our financial picture for our community will be like in 9 years. Hopefully it will have improved, right? And we'll have lots of resources to pursue all sorts of great ideas. Our job is not necessarily to find ways to fund these ideas today. It's not a commitment necessarily to actually do this idea. But that being said, it is helpful, right? So if you think that this is one of these ideas, is prohibitive because of the cost, then it would be helpful to make a note of that. Or if you think that it's a great idea but probably is not going to end up being a priority against all the other things that we have to pay for, that's helpful feedback too.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Did we already pay this J.M. Golson to be involved in this? And is there any other payment going out to subcommittees when you said we're going to categorize each one?
Yep,
Do we
absolutely.
have committees for the water supply, for the hospital, for the train, for this? Do we have subcommittees for that as well?
Yep, so the steering committee is overseeing the plan and also with my department seeing the consultant. Town meeting appropriated money to pay for the plan as a whole. Most of our expenses
Golson?
relating to the plan are for that consultant. So we have been paying, along as the project winds on. The project is on budget. We're a little bit behind schedule, but that was our choice. We decided to extend some of our public participation timelines because we wanted to maximize the amount of folks that got involved and give ourselves a little bit more time to do that. But in general, we're on track on this project. And then there's different core themes that we've kind of landed on where each of these strategy ideas fall into a bucket. One is all about housing, one's all about transportation, one is all about infrastructure,
Yes.
right? And there's not committees for each of those core themes, but we have done a lot of these roadshows and focus groups with individuals and departments that have a lot of involvement with those areas. So, for example, there's one core theme that's all about economic development. The Economic Development Director as well as the Economic Development Committee have both been pretty involved in looking at those particular strategies. So.
Does any of this go to town meeting?
No. So under state law, the planning board is the authority for adopting a master plan. So once we're done with this, we will be bringing it to the planning board for a final recommendation.
That's
And they'll
pretty
take a vote to
powerful.
adopt. Yeah.
Can you tell me who the 10 people are that are on this steering
It's a
committee?
quiz. So there's representatives on the steering committee from planning, zoning, conservation, board of selectmen, and economic development.
Okay.
And then the rest are at large. So there was an application process about a year and a half ago, and those folks were selected by a subcommittee that consisted of the chair of the planning board, chair of the board of selectmen, and the town moderator. I might be forgetting one other person. I apologize. But it's a representative group of residents.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah, for my
Absolutely.
answers.
Any other questions before we kind of dive right into the strategy ideas? All right. Is there anything in this list that stands out to you, or would it be helpful for me to kind of go through and start with a couple for conversation?
I just kind of picked out one quickly when I was reading through it. There's a lot of good ideas in here, but it was 5C3. The small parcels of land that are just open space in the town of Norwood, like this one on Neponset Street between a couple of houses, and it's not a buildable lot or anything like that, and the town has owned it for years, 100 years, whatever. But the idea to make a small little, bench and just some place to sit and rest would be a great idea instead of just an open lot that they mow every 2 years or something like that.
I agree, they have one on the corner of Boyle
Yeah,
and Washington.
yeah.
Yeah.
Another one of our
And they
pocket
have one
parks.
down there.
Yes,
It's
that's
a
what
very
they call it,
nice
a pocket
area.
park. And, I don't know, that just popped out at me,
That's a nice one, Tony.
yeah.
That would be a 3. That's a yes idea.
And is there one
Yes.
up by the junior high?
No, it's, the one I'm talking about, it's down, let's see, Neponset Street, Washington and Washington and Neponset hit.
I must not go through that town.
Okay, all right.
That's okay, I'll find
Bird
it.
Road is, and then
Oh,
Washington
oh,
Street.
oh, oh,
and then
yes, yes,
when you walk
yes.
down Neponset
Yes.
Street, it's down there on the left. Yeah. So,
Great, thank you.
I'd like to address the 6A2. Don't we already have this?
Yeah, so that's evaluate the
Evaluate the
effectiveness.
effectiveness of consolidating Veterans Health and Human Services into one coordinated department. Aren't we already doing that?
Yes, but not, not to where it could be. So you took
6A2.
baby steps where administratively the Veterans Department is in with the Health Department, but I think it's more growing the Health and Human Service part instead of being really inspectional services, so it'd be a little bit more like gaining a social worker, like making it more of a comprehensive department. So officially becoming Health and Human Service Department. Right now, we're a health department. So I think that is just one of the,
they want to combine it and make one big department?
so we are. So you know how we have animal control under us
Yeah.
and Veterans Department administratively. So he is autonomous, obviously, because he's working with the veterans. And it's not something that would be under the Board of Health. But a Health and Human Service Department would have social workers, like a larger, more
Comprehensive.
comprehensive department with more social service type
Would be independent?
activities. No, it would still be under a Board of Health. It's still the same. Instead of being the Health Department, it would be the Health and Human Service Department. Some towns have Health and Human Services, some are health departments. Ours is very heavy inspectional service-wise, as you can see from the
Okay.
reports that we give you each month.
So that would include the inspectional services also in this
Yeah,
department?
it would be really adding that human service aspect to the health department.
Just our inspectional services, like
Oh, just
food and
ours. Oh,
safety,
yeah, yeah,
not
not-
like other
Not gas and
inspectional services.
Oh,
electric
no.
and-
It'll be an elected
No,
board.
that's under the
Still.
building commissioner still.
Okay.
It'd be the,
An elected board you would have to elect the health and services. Health and
yes.
Service Board.
So it's no change to the structure of the Board of Health. So
Okay.
it's, think of it as adding, if we added a human, social worker. So someone to assist people with resources. Just that added.
Yeah.
Because, public health is not just about inspection, so it's to control
Excuse me.
and which is what you're seeing across the state. And that a lot of it is
Well,
why
it's gonna
we
be a
have-
money issue too.
Exactly,
Yeah.
so this is a perfect example when she's asking. You might say, wow, that's a really great idea, but can we really hire 3 more people? Can we hire a social worker? So you might be, that's where you'd say, hey, I like the idea, I just don't see that happening within 10 years or 5 years, or it is not a priority for where I wanna see us going. So a
Okay.
lot of times you might pick something on here that doesn't cost a lot of money, it's something we could do, we just need to do it.
Mhm.
Maybe like change a policy or, so that might be your low-lying fruit, like your first choice. Something like that, you might say, I like it, but let's kick that down the road a little bit. Or find ways that it doesn't cost us any money.
That would be
Conversely, I'd
my
also say,
concern.
like, if there's something that's really important to you as a body that you'd like to advocate for, this is a good opportunity to do that as well, right?
Right.
I know from these conversations around various boards and committees is that very often, town administration generally doesn't necessarily know how important an initiative of an individual group is. To know that it's important, we should move forward and try to fund it, right? So the comp plan is also a good opportunity to elevate that voice and that advocacy to say, and I'm just kind of using this as an example, if adding social workers to this department felt like a real priority to you, this would be a good opportunity to say, we don't know how we're going to fund it, but we want the town to find a way because it's that important to us, and we want to use this plan as a platform to lift that up. You know, that might be a good opportunity to do that as well. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
No, my concern was that it was going to cost the town, you know, any more money. In other words, they were going to have to hire a person to be the head of Health and Human Services or something like that. To me, that would be, you know, an additional money problem for the town, and I just assume, you know, it's something like adding benches to the trail system that we have in the town. I think is a great idea for people taking a walk and they want to sit down somewhere or something like that. You know, that to me is a good idea, but something as major as adding another person,
Layer.
yeah, a layer, correct, onto the town, I just, you know, we have
No, I
enough
agree
on our
with
plate
you.
right
Yeah.
now. So, like you say, maybe in 10 years we can reevaluate it or rethink it or whatever.
And I get the idea, but in this times of money not being readily available and already having overrides and everything else, something that's gonna cost more money is not gonna be on the top of our list. Because we need the people that are in our department right now, and we don't wanna lose anybody so that we could just hire somebody that's gonna be ahead.
Right.
You know, it's not the time, I don't think. Maybe in 5 years, if we're financially more stable, just at these times, I mean, I can't see offering this to people in the community and saying, you know, we're gonna hire somebody, a big gun up, you know, head of the department at such a salary, and you're gonna get another 2.5 override on your taxes. It's not gonna fly, you know, so that's why it's not a big, I mean, I like the idea, but the funding for it will be huge, and I don't think it's something to focus on immediately. I think we should wait and see where our finances go and get more stable.
And I think it's just, part of this plan is to just get you thinking, what's the future of the health department?
Yes.
What do you want it to look like in the
Yeah.
future? What do you think the needs are?
Yeah.
And that's really all it is. We are not looking to, we understand.
Yeah.
We're not looking to, the board's not looking to hire any more additional
No,
people.
I just don't think it's the right
thinking
time.
about it. Yeah,
Some of
and I don't
these-
think that's what that
Some of
question.
these items
Yeah.
too are about, like, you'll notice that one started with the words evaluate.
Yeah,
Right, so
exactly.
sometimes this might look like not jumping straight to hiring, you
Mhm.
know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new staff people, right? It might look like conducting more of a study to talk about it. It might say, well, this seems like a good idea, but we have these concerns, right?
Right,
So
right.
let's convene a group comprised of representatives from this board and this department
Yeah.
and this administration to really kind of have a more formal discussion about is this worth it to
Yeah.
us?
I agree with that, you
So
know, I
maybe
just think it
Doing
needs
that
more.
study feels right.
Yeah, it
Thought to
does.
it.
Yeah, it needs more thought to it. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I understand the necessarily need for maybe a social worker or something, but maybe a couple of years down the road, when we're financially more stable, we can do that. But I think we need to look at it very closely and make sure that this isn't gonna be a burden on our community.
So this is, it seems like a little bit of overlap with 6A3, which is the next strategy.
6A3?
6A3, which is an evaluation item also, but talking about evaluating staffing levels specifically. And kind of looking at other communities that are like us, you know, how do they staff their departments, what types of services are they offering, what are their expenses, kind of figuring out where we fall. Again, doing more of that formal analysis to
Yeah,
kind of help us shape what our next steps are.
It's good, but I think Norwood is ahead of the curve as far as something like that goes. Like, I'm on the state board for, you know, Mass Association of Health Boards, so, you know, this is something that comes up for discussion all the time. Just seeing what other towns offer and how they work and stuff like that. Norwood is truly ahead of the curve.
Right, interesting.
They're using us a lot of times as an example of what a health board should be. So, you know, I would have to say, I think that really has to go way down in the back of the,
I agree with you 100%.
you know, it just, we do we do very well for the town, our board, does, not our board, our workers, worker bees. And one of the other things that struck me looking through this was form an emergency notification task force. I want to say that Stacy will go along with me with this. For a good 10 years, we prepared for some kind of a pandemic through the state. And when COVID hit, we did zero on whatever we were taught or trained to do. If people needed shots and people needed this, that, and the other thing, they didn't come to that group of people. They didn't come to anything. So if we're going to do that in the future, then they're going to have to change the way that they do things. Am I right, Stacy? I was just...
So yes, so I believe this is talking, which number was this, John? I think this is about.
The 5E.
Don't you think we did so well with
Yes,
that?
5E5.
So I believe that is about notifying the public. So how do you get the word out? What that was emergency dispensing.
I still have that telephone number that you call and talk that will get around to people. I don't know if that's still a valid number or not, telephone number. Paul was the one that, Kathy's husband Paul was the one that was going to be the spokesman if we had an emergency, and it would go to everybody's phone and over the radio and everything else. I don't know if that's still a valid telephone number or not. So once again, we practiced for it, we did all kinds of things, and it was never implemented.
Yeah, that emergency dispensing site.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's one of those that we need to evaluate it. We really need to look at it and make sure that it's what the town needs and what the people of the town need and how we go about making sure that it actually happens.
Yeah, so I would say,
Correctly.
just to break this down a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
the goal here is making sure that we have a system in place to reach the most vulnerable folks in our
Absolutely.
community in the case of an emergency. And some examples here, right? Seniors, folks who might not be native English speakers, right? How do we make sure that we're reaching out to all of our residents in the case of an emergency? And it seems like that's a goal of this group.
That's correct.
Do you feel that we have the systems in place to do that well? And if not, or if you believe that there's room for improvement, do you think it's a valuable priority to set up a task force to prepare for that and come up potentially with new
I
ideas?
think a task force.
Yeah,
I
agree.
think so. I think the police department already has phone numbers that you can register with them, so that if there is such an emergency, then
I mean, the pandemic hit us very fast.
Yeah.
It came and we thought we were ready, and we really, I mean, we did a great job.
I did a great
mean,
job.
I think we
Food
did.
up at the high school, we dispensed them, it
Right.
was perfect.
But I think it would be a task force of knowing what we didn't do right during that type of thing.
What we could have done
And
more.
what we
Could
could have
have done
done
more,
better.
yeah.
Better.
And it sounds
so-
like the success would be dependent on kind of coordination with other groups, right? So
Right.
maybe
Right.
coordination with public safety
Correct.
or the state perhaps,
Right.
or, right, it would be helpful to include kind of other stakeholders in that task force.
We have to have an
Make sure that
international
it's-
kind of language distributing, someone who can distribute these emergency calls in Spanish or whatever language that a percentage of our community is. Because
We don't
that's not
even
being
have-
done. I mean, we get the call and you say to, when we did the food, Sarah, up at the high school during the COVID, I mean, there was just no communication. I mean, these people were lost. We certainly gave them what they needed, but they felt so vulnerable.
There's no hierarchy in place either. It's like, we knew what we were doing, but we need something that says a pandemic hits.
This is the
And this
protocol.
is where we go.
Yeah.
And that's a multi-agency. That's police, fire, town hall, school.
Police, fire.
Yeah. It's a multi-agency of, we came off the ground running and we put a lot of programs into play, but we don't know we never really had an evaluation.
How did we do?
How
We
did we
did great.
do?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
did we get to everybody that needed everything? And yes, we focused on the schools. We focused on
Senior
making.
centers.
and doing, the follow-throughs to make sure that the COVID, track was running. But we never really had an evaluation, so that's what I would like to see in something like that, is a hierarchy of where we go, a pyramid, say, as to who becomes the ultimate responding person, like is it the town manager? Or if it's a health situation, is it the Board of Health that becomes the top leader? What's the plan?
Who helps the non-English speaking?
Right, and the
member of this
elderly
community?
and-
So while we're on that topic, I'm just going to jump over to 6A9, which is a related issue about language access.
Yep.
So this one, and I'll just read it quickly, is to adopt a language access protocol for all municipal services. You may be familiar, the schools have something like this already, where if you have a child in the schools, all of their communication goes through this particular set of software and apps where everything is translated as needed into a million different languages selected by the users. But there's not a comparable kind of arrangement for the municipal sites of town hall or other departments.
Right.
So this would,
Probably go in conjunction with that.
Can we use that? Do you get together with me?
right, is this something that you think is needed? Is this
Definitely.
something that you're interested in?
I
Yeah,
say yes.
I think it is. I mean, if you go to a hospital for an illness, they have access to
Multiple.
computers and people who can, like a language line, that people can actually see a person and talk to them. Do we need it to be that extensive, or do we need it to be, in the case of a pandemic, I'm sure it probably would have helped if we had access to people who speak the language and could help us make sure that the people on the other end of that phone are getting the vaccines that they need and so on. So I would think that one could go in conjunction with the 5E6. I think it would be something.
And I like to think, as a grandparent with children in school, the children that see the nurse in their elementary school, that go there sick, they must be bewildered with the fact that there is no communication between that nurse and that student on how to say, I'm sick, call my mother. I don't know if there is, Sarah, but I would like to see that incorporated in this as well. I don't know if we work with the schools.
Right.
Do we, Sarah?
We do, so, the school committee, it's a delicate dance, right? So they have their own authority, they have their own strategic plan. And, they have the ability to carry out and implement that plan. But at the same time, schools and the town don't exist independently of
about
one another,
kids
right?
here.
Like, we're talking about
We're talking
all
about
the same
children that
folks.
need help.
Exactly, right. So there's some overlap, and I did this exercise with the school committee last week. And we went through this list, and we had this, a lot of these same conversations about how the town and the schools can collaborate on a lot of these initiatives and how we can support one another. We talked a lot about this idea that our successes are really dependent on our ability to collaborate and work together. So
I would like to see safety a part of that too, because children need to understand that as well.
it's definitely appropriate to put a note here.
Please.
For a school program that you think would benefit from one of these things. So I made a note of that for sure.
And that's why I think 6B7 is really appropriate in this instance, so that the schools and the town people know that there is a central published guide that can point you in which direction to go and who you need to contact for specific services or even questions that you have. I think that's almost a key thing to put on your list, is that if they have someplace that they feel that they can go to and have in their own language, their particular language. Even the elderly, a lot of them don't know where to go for a lot of different things. I just think that would be an important thing for the town to concentrate on if they're looking for something.
So who determines what gets thrown out, Sarah, and what stays?
Well, that's a great next question. Do you see anything on this list, any of you, that is an immediate
Get rid of
this? I hate this
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
'Cause that can be a good way to knock a few things off. Sometimes we find that, like, over time, as we've spent more time with this list, we've been able to eliminate a bunch just by saying that maybe two ideas say the same thing in different words, right?
Right.
So there's some redundancy that we've been able to eliminate. But each group, I think, has been able to identify things that are non-starters for them. So if there's something here that stands out to you as, well, I really don't feel great about this, or it's not a good fit for Norwood specifically, maybe in other towns.
No, who makes the final decision when you collaborate all the ideas
This-
together?
The steering committee kind of brings in all of the feedback that we're receiving from.
And it's a vote.
from groups, yeah.
Okay, that's what I meant. not-
Yeah, it's an iterative process.
I
All
mean, the
these
process
ideas-
hasn't really changed.
These ideas all came to be by pulling together comments from the public, including staff. And so sometimes you'll see like some of the ideas from the public, you know, maybe kind of like left field type ideas, right? Where maybe they can't be done. I mean, some of the things that we do are, as you know, heavily restricted by state laws and regulations, right? So there are certain things on here that we've been able to strike off because they're just not. So yeah, what stands out to you?
Okay, now, when I was going through it, I was more concentrating on things that would be a good idea versus, knocking anything off the list, so, I would have to go spend some time and see what had to be.
Well, I'm happy with what I said about, communication.
Yep. Is there any good ideas that you think that we should have?
This is a wide-ranging list. Some of these are about emergency response. Some of these are about infrastructure. The second pages, a lot of what's in the 5 Cs and 5 Ds is all about playgrounds and infrastructure and making parks and playgrounds accessible. Obviously, these are the types of items that add a fair amount of cost. And I'm just curious if you have general thoughts on where that falls on your priority list.
As far as playgrounds,
Or public spaces, parks, sidewalks
I think the
even.
playgrounds that have been done by the PTOs in each school are absolutely wonderful. They're addressed by the school committee, by facilities, by the principal, overseen by the parents. I don't think you can get any better than that, except more of it. But I do think that what I've seen of the playgrounds, safety is their number one concern. Anybody agree or disagree?
No, I agree.
Are there any health-related amenities that you'd like to see expanded in parks? Whether that's more inclusive play structure, or I've seen other communities do things like sunscreen dispensers for sun protection, or any other kind of public health.
But who's gonna monitor that if there's an allergy?
Yeah.
All right?
Well, so that's the question. Is that something you're interested in? Are
No.
there other ideas that you
No,
have?
I think
or-
we have to leave something for the parents to still to be responsible for with these
Right,
kids at school.
right.
I mean, maybe things have changed, but I just think that they're pretty up on that.
I mean, I was just looking to see the things that we might possibly do. So I would have to really look at this again and see what things I don't think are high priority, but the other part of that is that they might not be a high priority for us, but they might be a high priority for somebody else.
No, I don't see anything in here on getting another ambulance or increasing our fire department or our police department. Why is that?
They might not have, I know that there are items relating to that. They might not have been pulled into the health bucket specifically, but
Yeah, I would like to see them.
that's an
certainly.
inexact science again, because there's
It's
so
what's
much,
there?
it's an inexact science. There's so much
Yeah.
overlap between these areas.
I
So
mean,
can
I'm a
certainly
big
make
fan of
note.
increasing all 3, but I just wondered why it wasn't even a part of this in a 10-year scheme. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
the plan is much bigger than this.
But-
This is
but the-
just a little piece.
I know, but the plan is going to expand with housing and everything. The 10-year plan should include increasing our fire department, our police department, and our ambulances.
So you're talking just as much about vehicle and infrastructure?
I'm talking
or
about all of
staffing
it
and capacity?
in that building
Both.
on the Hack Street. It's a great service they render. I think they should get what they need to keep the services up to the level that we get.
I guess the last questions I would have, there's a couple of items here specifically about kind of emergency responses. 5E4 is about upgrading our shelters. So we consider the senior center to be an emergency shelter and.
Not a
civic
housing
center.
shelter?
No. So these are like extreme weather event type shelters. So when we have extreme heat or extreme cold, making sure that we've got heating and cooling spaces for people who go and be safe.
I think that's the same as 6C1 though, isn't it?
It's okay.
So 6C1 is a little bit broader. It's less emergency related. It's more just about programming that's intergenerational for the senior center. 5E4 is really about specifically to like the extreme weather and emergency.
Okay.
So making sure that like we're upgrading our systems and dedicating that as a funding priority to make sure that those
There again, that
spaces are
should,
met.
you could
Come under.
probably combine all three of those, as 5E4, 5E5, and 5E6, because they would all really come under the same kind of category, because you, as a part of forming an emergency notification task force, part of that would be to upgrade the civic and senior center shelters, et cetera, as well as, you know, establishing a community emergency resource center. So if you put all of those three strategies together, you could eliminate, just make it
Yeah, sure.
one with all of those
I mean,
underneath
they're all
it.
disaster readiness.
Right,
preparations,
right.
so,
So,
But it sounds like that's a priority of this group and something we can start
well, it
with.
is something that needs to be worked on.
I'm trying to be respectful of your time. I don't know how much
Yeah,
time you have left.
I'm all
to
set.
discuss. Do you have any other thoughts to share?
Thank you so
We'll
much.
get you back here again after we've looked through it a second time.
Nobody's
How's that?
ever asked us
That
that,
sounds
though.
great.
Nobody's
Yeah.
ever come, I've been on the board to be inclusive with that for the town 10-year planning. I mean,
Well, I mean, you have such a dedicated set of expertise, and you've been working on these issues you know, for a long time, so it's important for us to be able to get your feedback.
That's important for us.
Our work on this plan doesn't stop today. It's going to be continuing until
Good.
March.
Okay.
So I would invite you to spend more time looking through these strategies if
Okay.
you're able.
Mhm.
We do have a survey that's open right now. That link is available on our website, and I can also have Jen and Stacy send that out to you.
Yeah,
That would be
yeah.
a great way to participate. But you could also just call or email me directly if you have more thoughts, and I can make sure that that all gets incorporated into the plan, because we're going to
Great job,
continue to work
Sarah.
on this for a while.
Thank you,
Okay.
Sarah, for doing
Yeah,
this.
Thank you
great
so
job.
much for
Pleasure
having
having
me.
you here.
Thank you.
Thank you, person. Thank you, Celine.
Okay. That was good.
Okay. Moving forward, still under new business, tobacco compliance checks report.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that was very well done.
Very nicely
So it
done,
looked
yes.
like we had three people that, or
Two.
two that
Yeah,
I don't have the
failed.
name.
Out of,
Very nice.
Yeah, that's a lot of
Yeah,
hard
so out of
work.
28, there were 28 inspections.
She
We had
added
28
faster.
tobacco permits. And we had 2 sales to underage buyers. One was a first time and one was a second time.
Oh, okay.
who was the second time, Mr. Franks?
Yes,
Yeah, that's right.
So are they fined?
they are fined $2,000 for a second time, because that's the state fee,
Okay.
the state fine
Well,
fee.
hopefully they.
And what's
It's
the
not a
first,
local.
what's the first fine? I forgot it. Is it
1,000.
about 1,000?
1,000.
It
That's
goes
what I was just gonna
1,000,
say, yeah.
2,000, 3,000.
Right. So that's a
And a
good
suspension.
chunk. Yeah,
For
and
7
a
days.
suspension for 7 days, right. Okay.
Oh, and a suspension? for
And a
them?
suspension.
And a suspension.
Yep,
Oh, wow, okay.
yep. Yep. So they,
That, yeah, that's.
it's good that, you know, the 26 out of the 28 are paying attention, so.
Yes.
I think all 28 will be paying attention now.
Now, after the, yeah, after the
Hopefully.
fines, yeah.
Okay.
Now,
all
is
right.
that everybody in Norwood? Everybody that sells tobacco in Norwood?
Yes.
Okay.
There were 28 licenses out?
We have 28, yes.
Okay. Moving forward, public health nurse report, Diana?
Time.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
Any questions on the report?
No.
No. Any more cases of the botulism on the baby or formula?
Not here. We didn't have one.
We did have one in the state.
No, we didn't.
Oh, I
No,
thought we
one
had
about
one.
Norwood, no.
No,
We
not
had none
Norwood.
in Norwood.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm happy to see that we're going to offer the MMR vaccine for children
Yep.
if they have Medicare and Mass Health or
Or not insured.
not insured.
Yep.
So they just have to call you and set up an appointment for that?
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, that's great.
I was delighted to see Diana and her counterpart here, Mr. Boudreau, do a wonderful segment on Narcan and its usage, and that everybody should carry it. Diana was very informative. It was a very, very intent. I was so pleased with everything about it, Diana. The interest that the department and you have taken to make that presentation to the town was incredible. I hope the parents listen. And to say that it's okay, everybody should carry it, takes that taboo, bad thing away from it. To come from a public health nurse. Because they think, oh, bad, Narcan. Not so.
It's giving somebody a second chance.
Yes,
So-
it is.
So carrying it around with you doesn't mean that it might be somebody in your family. It could be just somebody you're passing on the street that you
Absolutely.
could possibly help.
Absolutely.
So just having it on you is just something that could give somebody a second chance at life.
Absolutely, Diana. Thank you. And Mr. B, thank you. I thought it was wonderful.
Okay,
Thank you, Diana.
very good. Thanks, Diane. Okay, environmental health inspection report. Angelo, you're up.
Good morning, everybody.
Good
morning.
morning, Angela.
I will start with the new food establishment report.
Okay.
We had one opening of a residential kitchen. The other 5 establishments below that list, they're still pending.
What is the new kitchen offering?
She's making sourdough bread.
Oh, okay.
What's the big thing with that? Everybody's making it.
It's very healthy.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't like it.
And where is that ownership?
It is,
Laurel Road.
Ah,
yeah, it's over by the Winsmith Mill, before you get to Winsmith.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
So she's allowed to make and sell out of her home?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay, Friendly's is still, well, they changed ownership, but they're still under the guidelines of Friendly's, correct?
Yes.
No, was it closed, not closed yet, Angela?
No.
They're just changing hands
They're changing
corporate-wise.
hands, yes.
The name.
Yeah, like it'll still be a Friendly's,
Right.
it's just the corporation has bought out their all individually.
Okay. We have another new mobile truck? How many mobile trucks do we have already?
Six?
Approximately
6, and then we have the 3 ice cream trucks.
In the wintertime, they're gonna go mobile too?
So that Grand by Geo is a coffee cart. He's just doing coffee.
Oh, okay.
So
Where does it go?
he's gonna do farmer's market, some PTO events at the schools with permission.
Uh-huh.
I'm actually in the process of emailing him for a final inspection, but there's a couple items that he still needs to comply with before
Okay.
we actually solidify a date for inspection.
Okay. Okay.
Is there anybody you think we need to put on the list?
I do not have anyone
Okay.
that is good.
I was a little concerned about, this is way down, so I don't know about anybody else what they have, but the side door that they had 3 criticals.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
So they
unusual.
did have 3. They were easy fixes. They fixed them all when I was there.
Okay.
It was just one issue with segregation. The sanitizer concentration, it gets depleted as time goes on, and it was coming to the end of the time. It just needs to be replaced.
Okay.
And there was just one thing of improper cooling that they threw out while I was.
Okay. So you don't think we need to re-inspect them again? or-
I don't think so. They were,
Okay.
I mean, it could happen anywhere.
Okay.
It was just a matter of us catching them.
I just was concerned where we haven't had somebody with 3
Right.
criticals in a
Yeah.
while, so I was a little concerned about that.
The rest of us.
Yeah, the soup was a concern to me.
And when we find something like that, they throw it out when we're there. Like, we witness them throw it out.
Oh, yeah.
They-
Okay. How about, the other one was the Rincon Carabana, that was also a 3 critical. Is that
Which one, yeah?
Rincon above,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I did go out for a re-inspection on that.
okay,
I went over proper wear washing with them when I was there the first time. And when I
Okay.
went the second time, they were properly doing it when I was there.
okay,
They were having an issue with their walk-in cooler, that they had a company come out and recharge the refrigerant in it.
Okay.
So the walk-in is fine now.
okay. Okay, as long as you think that just could,
Yeah,
there's 3
so I did go
criticals,
back
okay.
and verify that everything was
Okay.
proper.
Are we still offering classes?
Geez, I just was gonna ask that.
Yes, the next one should be in May.
By you?
Yes.
Okay.
And
And-
each person, excuse me, from each
ahead.
restaurant has to attend that?
People that are not food manager certified
Food manager certified.
should be attending.
And is there a
Yes.
charge to that?
No, it's free.
Free. And you don't recommend more than one? What if that person is not available for that? I always wonder this, one person is food certified, but that person's out for a week. I mean, it just, Angelo, so we don't, as a committee or a board, recommend more than one?
It's not required by code.
Okay.
So that certified food manager is responsible for training
Somebody
staff
else,
that's going to
okay.
be there in their place.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I see, I just.
I think I said November. I
think
meant
that-
May. May should be the
No,
next
you
class.
said it.
I didn't, I
said
wondered
May.
about that.
Yeah, okay.
So yes, the responsibility of the certified food manager is to train other staff that's going to be there when they are not there.
Okay.
So they're able to answer our questions about the daily operation for the food operation.
Do we have anybody that's outstanding that doesn't have food managers?
No, I think we're up to date. with
Okay.
everybody, yes, that's one of the first things we check when we get there.
And the
Oh.
choke and save is on the restaurant themselves?
No, they have to have a choke and save.
No, it's on them themselves to do it,
Oh, yes.
Yes.
not by us.
No.
No, anti-choke, no, that's on them. I mean, we give them vendors as options.
Yes,
know
no,
we
I
a
still have Beth, yeah.
Specific vendor, yeah,
Yes.
Beth, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
The one I have is Paradise Biryani. It's on page 10.
So that was mine as well.
Okay. My concern is the rodent droppings throughout. I mean, have we increased their,
They're coming once a week there,
okay,
and they are sending me their reports.
okay.
The initial inspection, I found a lot of droppings.
Yes.
The re-inspection, it was better, so they did a better cleaning. I think it's more just a cleaning thing for them to stay on top of it.
Do you think that we ought to add them, before our next meeting? Just double check to make sure? I mean, if they had it the second time that you went, my concern is, Kyle, that it's an ongoing thing and that they're not really paying attention.
Yeah, I can pop back in there.
Do
Yeah.
they send you an inspector's report?
When I request them, they do, yeah. So they do have them, so it's not, they're just saying it. They're coming every week.
They're coming every week.
But I can follow up with them.
Yeah, that might be helpful, maybe so you don't have to run down there all the time. If you have them at least send you an inspector's report for a month, say,
Yeah.
like every week they have it, just so we see that the trend is,
Is increasing. And that's the same with Two Beirut, page 13.
Yeah, so I am going back there for a re-inspection.
Yeah,
Was gonna go last week, but
right.
stuff got away from me, so I've let him know this week.
With the
Okay.
flies and the droppings throughout, that's a concern to me. That, they increase their,
On this new food establishment report, Jen, what is the date of, like this? I'm looking for a transfer,
So they're added to the list once they have their plan review reviewed by us and we send them their conditional letter of approval. That's when we add them to the list.
So it doesn't go to the selectmen, to us?
No, so they'll go to the selectmen if they have seating or alcohol.
Okay.
they need to go to the selectmen for those. If it's just a restaurant that has no seating and no alcohol, the selectmen are not involved at all. It would just be under us.
But then they come to us after the selectmen approve it, correct?
With the
No?
alcohol.
Well, it would depend on what it is.
Okay.
So like in regards to the alcohol, no, we're not involved in
No, we're
that
not.
aspect of it.
Right.
That's between them and the ABC board at the state.
Right.
But in regards to the food, sometimes the selectmen will approve a CB license before we have approved our food license.
That's what I'm saying.
So
Okay,
they can't
that's-
open without us. We're
Oh,
the
okay.
last step in that regard.
Okay.
Where it's
that's-
just change of
Yeah.
ownership, you know,
Yeah.
that's what I want, change of ownership.
Yeah,
That's what I
so,
was wondering.
but yeah, it depends on when they submit it to us. Like, we have a lot of restaurants right now who are gonna be closing before the end of the year.
Yes.
New ownerships will take over in the spring. They might not apply to us for a while because they're still making all of their changes. If they're still doing construction work, different things like that, they're not gonna submit their plan reviews to us because they haven't finalized all of
Okay.
their plans.
Okay.
Do we get to know that on the list of who's opening and whatnot, who has, now, we don't have a list for who's closing.
So, we can definitely give you one. Right now, we're in the middle of the renewal period.
Right.
And so, you know, we know for some of them that are closing because the new owners have reached out to us.
Okay.
Some of them have just, you know, let us know, no, we will not renewing our license, you know,
Okay.
it's a tough time of year. But we can get you something for the January meeting. if
Yeah,
you'd
that
like.
might be a good idea, so that we have some idea of, you know, what to look for in the near future. The last thing I have, Kathy, is that I noticed it's starting to creep up again, people with expiration dates expired on some of the restaurants and some of the food places, so I don't know, didn't last time we had quite a bit of those, didn't we send them out a notice? Send them out a letter, so maybe, we've already sent them out their renewals for the permits for the first of the year, so this would be,
We could send them something in January if you want to put us up. Right now,
Yeah.
we're kind of focusing on just making sure
right,
they get all
they
their
have their
renewals in.
permits, yeah.
But we can set something up, especially once we have everybody set up, we know who we're moving forward with in 2026.
Yeah.
We would definitely come up with something.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea, because as I say, I noticed a couple of them is starting to creep up, people not paying attention to the expiration dates,
Okay.
so.
Thank you, Angelo.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
All right, moving forward. Director's update.
Yes, so one of the first things that I put in your packet was just the clinical advisory. I know you already know about the clinical advisory, but this is a time that I want to put out to the public, that it's by Heart baby formula that has the recall. And the reason, even though the inspectors go out, they make sure it's pulled from all the stores, and the stores have all been notified. Sometimes somebody might have given you some, or you got it free, and
Yeah.
you may have it at home, and you may not be aware. So again, so that's why I just wanted to mention it again. It's by Heart, whole nutrition infant formula, the dry, the can, and the single little dry.
The single dry packs.
Little packets.
Yeah.
Just if you have that at home, just be aware of what infant formula that is in your home.
Okay.
Is there anybody that checked on the different stores and whatnot to make sure that they don't have them, or you just assume that the stores take care of it on their own?
Yes, when they were out,
Shaw's,
Yep.
we're selling them, but they did remove them from the shelves.
Hold it.
And they had to fill out some paperwork for the state that I sent out to them, that they returned back to us regarding
Okay.
the product. And that list went to the state. So they were already off the shelf at that time.
Okay.
And it was sent back to the warehouse to be destroyed.
Good,
Great.
okay, yeah, that was a concern that, you know.
And usually the stores are usually ahead of us.
Yeah, because they get
they get it from the
notification.
manufacturer.
Correct.
Right, and then they get it from the state too, so.
Right, and then, again, they want to make sure
Yeah.
everyone is aware too, so.
Yeah, my concern is they put it on sale and to get rid of
The
it or something. you know?
Usually, stores are really good about.
I would think
Yeah,
that
I
would
would
be
hope so.
nobody
very
wants that.
dangerous.
I would like to
Yeah,
think so,
this is
too.
botulism and
Yeah.
infant formula,
Yeah,
not so
no,
much, but
no.
I'm more concerned if someone, you know, it was a donation, or somebody said,
Right.
hey, my child doesn't
Or
like this
try
formula.
this, yeah.
Yeah, it's more of that, that's why I bring it up again today.
Okay, good idea.
Then I want to share to you about community connections at the library, so I'll give you this here. Okay. And then for the camera, we'll, yeah, hold it.
Thank you.
So the camera can see that.
Can you get that?
can't get that, then I don't need to. So it's Wednesday, December 17th. It's put on by Connect to Recovery. It's through Riverside. So as we've been talking about the last few months about anyone in need of recovery services for the recovery coach, we had Johnny, remember Johnny was out there, Johnny Pike, and that program. This is something that it's really just on your journey at all in wellness, so it's open to everybody. It's not just someone who's in the recovery process. But the library is going to have monthly drop-in sessions. And the library is just a great place to have something like this because it's very welcoming. You can be there. They have all sorts of classes and all sorts of educational programming there. But you could be there to have a book, grab a cup of coffee. And on Wednesday, December 17th, it's just a little meeting group, a community gathering group, and just to talk about resources, what are some of the needs in the community. And it doesn't have to be for you. You may have a neighbor or a friend or somebody that is in need of something. This is a tough time of year around the holidays, and it's just an added support. But this programming is going to happen every month. So this drop-in session, and hopefully it will grow. And you can bring your lunch and just sit there or just have a cup of coffee and listen and just have conversation with people. But it's just another resource out there.
So this is offered by Riverside?
This is, yes, through
Okay.
our funding with the opioid funds. So we
Okay.
have them, this is added on top of doing recovery coaching for anyone that needs
Okay.
it. This is just kind of some other supports for people.
Okay.
Yeah, especially this time of year.
This time of year, and it's a way to talk to the public too, and just again, it's kind of what Sarah said. It's getting out there in a friendly place that is accessible to everybody. It's a welcoming place, and just having those conversations with people. And that's how you an exchange of information.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that goes.
I hope it goes, Stacy, because my knowledge of reaching out to somebody that they don't like people that don't need the help there, or you offering them help. You know what I mean? Not everybody is open to this kind of connect. Do you know what I mean? I mean, yeah, God forbid somebody has a problem, and I say, well, why don't you come with me, or we'll get you help, or we'll reach out and see what I can do for you. No, thank you, I don't want that. And why are you here?
Yeah.
Well, I'm here to try to help you. Well, we don't want your help. You know what I mean? I don't know if the people that need our help feel intimidated by the people that want their help in that small of a group. Does anybody understand that?
I understand what you're trying to say. I have a neighbor that is the same way that
Yeah, I
needs
reached
it.
out to a
Yeah.
neighbor. Yeah, it's a you mean well, and I understand their privacy, and it's just not always appreciated in the way that we would like to work out.
Well, even if we help one person,
Oh, no, I agree with that.
so I think, again, you can just show up with your lunch, show up with a coffee, sit in the corner, and just if you make a couple of connections with people, it's just another resource.
Connections are
For
great.
anyone that's out there.
Yep.
Again, Wednesday, December 17th, from 12 to 2 in the Simone Room at the library.
Great.
Thank you.
Speaking of Riverside, are they closed down? I noticed the building is closed off, right by the railroad station. That building right across from
The apartments,
the
Avalon?
apartments, yeah, Avalon Apartments, that
I didn't
brick
know
building.
that.
Yeah, I've been going by it, and everything is closed. It's all boarded up. There is one part of it that's still open, one little part of it on the right-hand side as you look at the building, but the rest of it all has,
Maybe they're doing renovations or something?
I don't know. I didn't know if you guys knew or not.
Haven't heard anything.
No, I just know that they're still out there and still
Yeah.
active, so.
Yeah, I wondered if this was in place of something that they offered
No,
previously.
because they offer all types of service. This is
Right.
just with our program that we have through NCA, the shared service program, where we share that,
Yeah.
the two recovery coaches.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay, thank you, Steve.
Board's agenda?
I'm all set, thank you.
That's it.
Okay, I just want to wish everybody happy holidays, stay safe, and try and stay healthy.
Yeah, he is.
That's all for
Same,
us.
happy holidays, stay
Okay.
safe.
We still have allergy shots, we still have flu shots available?
Yep, 65
We do.
plus.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone
Thank
want to
you.
make a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, Brian.